Here's a story on if you have a bicycle and let's say, for example, if you have a bike and you don't have a lock. So what do? Wonder if you have to go to the store on your bicycle, but you have no lock. Well, you go buy a lock. Case in point, back in the day, I want to say it was 50 years ago, I had a bicycle, brand new Schwinn Stingray bike, beautiful bike, best bike I ever had. And I remember the bike cost $128. Might have been 123, whatever. So my dad bought me the bike. Loved the bike, but I didn't have a lock. So one day, my dad tells me, go to the store and get some milk or whatever. So I get on my trusty bike, my red Stingray, and I ride to the store. But I didn't have a lock. Or I did have a lock. Actually, by then I had a lock. But I didn't lock it. Because I figured, you're never going to steal my bike. Lo and behold, I go in the store. I come back. And guess what? The bike's gone. I'm like, oh my God, my bike's gone. What do I do? So I had to concoct a story. The story was, I locked the bike, but somebody stole it anyway. So my dad said, well, looks like you have no bike. And I figured that was all right because I knew it was my fault. But at least I didn't get in any trouble for losing my bike. Well, now I have no bike. There's a bike. So I had no bike, and I was getting depressed. So I had to walk or take the bus everywhere. Finally, about a month later, my dad comes up to me and he says, David, are you sure you locked your bicycle? I said, oh yes, Dad. I locked my bike. I promise. I locked it. He said, are you sure? I said, oh yes, sir. I always lock my bike. I love my bike. Well, then he comes up. He says, you're sure you locked the bike? I said, yes, sir. I locked the bike. He says, come with me to the garage. So I go to the garage. He opens the garage door, and lo and behold, there's my shiny red Schwinn bicycle. So I did get the bike back. But the moral of the story is, if you have a bike, buy a lock. Because this happened 50 years ago. And it still happens now. No matter how much you smile, it can still happen. So, lock your bike.